Michelle is a musician with albums released as Everyone Except Me and artist behind the post-apocalyptic webcomic Stray Cats. She's kind, a bit shy, and furiously creative. Henrique is a filmmaker with over 24 films and TV shows as producer, director, and occasionally host. He also released a couple of music albums. He's bombastic, larger than life, and tenacious almost to a fault. Together, they've been best friends for a decade. This show is awkward.
So, Michelle.
So.
Why do you have a pen? You're brandishing a pen.
Oh, sorry. I was just playing with it while you were doing stuff.
Oh, while I was eyeing my stonks.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, I feel like that I just said stonks, so now the SEC is listening instantly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
My AMC stock that I own like very little of just like was shot to the moon for a minute. And I was like, what do I do? Do I just sell it or do I fucking believe in it? Because I do believe in it. And I wasn't ready.
Yeah.
So
Sorry.
it's okay. I'm sorry you didn't buy any stonks.
It's okay. I give up.
You kept saying like, it's too late. It's too late. And I kept saying, no, you should buy it today when I'm buying it. And you're like, it's too late.
Yeah.
The worst part is like, this is, you should feel extra bad because when I bought the AMC stock, it was like $4 a share. So I dropped like a $28 investment or something.
Mm-hmm.
And now it's like a bunch. You totally could have done $28.
I guess.
I'm sorry, Michelle. I don't mean to make you feel bad, but I do, I guess.
You really can't make me feel any worse than I already feel. So.
See, that's the spirit. And now we've set the tone for the day.
Yeah.
And that's what really matters. So I should mention, by the way, last week I jokingly said people should tip money and say they like you.
Mm-hmm.
Craig Cohen tipped money and said he liked you.
Oh, that's nice of him.
It's very nice of him.
He's nicer than I did.
I mean, it was a very nice thing. So thank you, Craig. And thank you and thank you everybody who's just been, supportive. Even though I said you have to support Michelle with cold hard cash or it doesn't count.
Yeah, it's okay. I understand that you don't support me. It's okay.
So, but we both had kind of eventful mornings. You much more than I did, because you had a plumber come over to your house.
Yeah.
How'd that go?
It went fine. He was here for a very long time because he had.
That doesn't sound fine then.
Well, I mean, I knew he was going to be here for a very long time because he had to take all of the water out of all of the radiators and put it.
Yeah, how many radiators do you have?
I don't know, like 8 something.
Wow.
Like that. Like,
I have 0. So
it heats my house. Like they have to be all over the place.
Yeah. So he emptied out all your radiators.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, I mean, like the whole system.
Right.
From the bottom.
And then I assume filled them back up.
Yes, and I didn't hear them get filled back up, but then he bled them all, so they must have been filled back up. He even bled all the upstairs ones that never have any water in them, so that means they have water in them now, which is amazing. I'm so excited.
So that means that, when winter comes, you'll actually have heat up there?
Well, I always have a little bit of heat. Like they get like kind of warm, and also heat rises, so it's not cold. It's just not as warm as downstairs is for some reason, which is really unusual since it's upstairs.
I feel like it's not that unusual when there's very little heat actually sourced from upstairs.
Oh, yeah, sure.
I mean, because usually the reason upstairs is always hot is because downstairs is heated, but then all the heat goes up, and then upstairs is also heated. Mm-hmm. So so you're combining the two heats.
Yeah.
Yeah. I haven't stayed there in the winter, I guess. So I haven't noticed it be chilly upstairs.
It's really not chilly. It's just not as warm. Like I can tell when I walk down the stairs that it's warmer downstairs, but it's not. It's probably like 66 up there and like 68 downstairs. It's no big deal.
Oh, okay. That's not that bad. I mean, not really. So, I mean, it sounds horrible.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. But no, but everything was okay. Was he just there to do that or what's up?
Yeah, no, he was there to. I have a leaking radiator valve.
Is that what was happening with? You said you found water.
Yeah. There was like it was actually a valve that had been replaced recently because it looks like it's been replaced recently. I didn't do it. But I think they just did a really shit job because it was leaking from like the connection to like the bolt under it. Like it wasn't tightened all the way or something.
Mm.
And it had just been leaking, but unbeknownst to me for probably ever since it was done because the nut was all like corroded and stuff. But so he had to put a new one on and now it looks really nice. He did a really nice job. But I found out that my water pressure is high. It's about 100 psi, which is not good. And
So
I know that.
It needs to eat less salty foods, or
Yeah. No, I don't know why it's high. And I asked him, and he's like, I don't know. He's like, a lot of them are really high for some reason. It's like really, really bad for fixtures and plumbing. Which I learned about just recently already. It's like 20.
For those not following along every week, Michelle is in home inspector school.
Yeah.
And why are you going to home inspector school? Like, what are you going to do with it?
I don't know. Like, what do you do with it? Become a real estate agent? Is that what you need it for?
So anyway, so what do you do? I mean, about your water pressure, though. What do you do?
I'm gonna kind of look into it a little bit more. My house isn't exhibiting any of the signs that normally you would have if you have high water pressure. Like, I'm not seeing things at my faucets that I should be seeing. So it's possible that something's going on and there's just work, like my water company's doing work in the area, which they always are, and that would raise my water pressure. But I'm gonna look into it, and I probably will call my water company. And if they're like, I don't know, man, it's just high now for some dumb reason, they can put in a pressure regulator, which just makes it so it doesn't come into my house and ruin everything.
So the regulator takes the brunt of the pressure and not your fixtures, basically. Yeah. Okay, that makes sense. So what are the signs that you have too high water pressure? Is it like, does your house sound like a submarine, like lowering toward the bottom of the ocean?
Yeah. Yeah, no, like it's it would be like especially like if you have pipes that are like knocking, like you have like movement in your pipes.
I've never heard a knocking pipe. I've only ever heard of that in movies and stuff.
Me too.
Okay,
I don't have them. I think my dad said he has some. But that doesn't necessarily mean that it's high water pressure, but it could be. And then also like when you turn on your faucet, apparently like if you have like the mainstream coming down and you got like coming out to the side too, like it's got to get more out, as much out as possible. That could mean it. And then also like premature like failure of fixtures and stuff like that, which I don't really have. So I don't know if it's consistent or if it's not consistent. So.
Yeah, that is weird. Yeah, they could just be doing work. It seems like they're always doing work in your area on something. They are. So I guess that's good progress, right?
Yay.
But I'm glad that you that you no longer have the leak. It made me think of I don't know if you remember this because this was a long time ago, but one time I was out and about running around the East Coast, and on my way back I had stopped in Pittsburgh to visit a friend, and I needed an oil change. Like I was overdue, or actually maybe I was on my way out. So that's why I was like, I should just get an oil change now because I'm going to be gone for weeks, when I'm already in Pittsburgh. So I stopped at a quick oil change place. And then a week later, I'm like driving along this little New Jersey town visiting somebody, and my car starts making a sound. And I'd had my Volkswagen for so long. I knew its sounds. It was making the sound that it's low on oil. And so I pull over. And as I'm pulling over, the oil light comes on. So I'm like, okay, good thing I just pulled over. So I pull over and I go in, and I pulled into a CVS. So I just go into the CVS. I buy a couple of things of oil. I pour some oil in, and I'm like, well, that's weird. So I got enough oil that I had plenty. And I just kept an eye on it like the entire time I was out, and would add some more here and there.
Yeah.
And when I got home, I went to my normal oil change place, and literally the guy just like, I told him what had happened, and he was like, yeah, that was the wrong washer. Yeah, they should have, like, that was the wrong washer on the plug or whatever. He was like,
oh no.
Yeah, they did not know what they were doing with a Volkswagen. He's like, and it's funny because he's like, these cars are pretty alien, but like most of it's pretty simple. It's like, it just needs a different kind of washer. Like you just Google it real quick. He's like, so I was like, okay, so you guys put the right washer on? I was like, of course we did. I'd got my oil changed there like dozens of times. That's why you can say, of course we did.
Yeah.
But from then on, I was super careful about where I got my oil changed with that car because I was paranoid because I was leaking oil.
Yeah.
And I could see it like on my parking space when I got back before I went and got an oil change. So yeah, from then on, I would like if I'm in an familiar area, I'll go to a Volkswagen dealer. Well, back then I don't have a Volkswagen anymore, but I'd go to a Volkswagen dealer to get my oil changed. It's like $7 more, but they're gonna do it right.
Yeah.
Well, let's be they're probably gonna do it right. Like there's a higher likelihood
that at least they'd have the right parts.
At least they would know they're doing it wrong as they do it wrong.
Yeah, exactly. You should, I mean, if you were doing that, you should have gone to them and been like, listen, I'm on a road trip. So if this breaks down, I'm not actually going to come back here. So please just do it right.
Listen, I have a full-time job, but if you fuck up this oil change, I quit my job. My job becomes you. That's it. My job becomes you.
Yeah.
What do I mean by that? Don't find out.
I don't know.
Don't find out. That's that's the truth. So anyway, but that just made me think of it like it looks like we just had a change. They just didn't do it right. That's exactly what was like said with the oil change. It was like they changed your oil. By definition, I mean your oil was changed, but then you didn't get to keep it. So they filled you up with oil and then they didn't let you keep it.
There's relating to that. There's all sorts of things like in home inspection where it's like they just put these nails in because they had these nails, but they're not going to actually secure this thing. So you got to be careful. So
homes are fun like that.
Yeah.
What was the Simpsons joke was always like there was an episode where Flanders' home gets destroyed by I think it was a tornado or a hurricane, and his house is the only house in all of Springfield that gets destroyed, which is extra funny because he's Mr. God, Mr. Prayer, and that's kind of the joke is that like he's like praying for his house and then and his family, and then only his house gets demolished, and he doesn't have homeowners insurance because he believes that insurance is a form of gambling, which is a sin. So he won't. I'm serious. I love The Simpsons so much, but so they have no homeowners insurance and their house is just gone. So the people of Springfield all rally together to build him a new house, but they do like a really shitty job because they don't know how to build a house.
Yeah.
And there's like one part where he's like, the floor is a little off level right around here. And he's like, oh yeah, well we ran out of floorboards, so we painted the dirt. Pretty clever, huh? Stuff like that. But there's one part where like Rod and Todd, the sons, are in their room, and he's like, wow, like they're looking at the rooms. And he's like, I don't like this clown. There's a Krusty the Clown poster, and he pulls it down. He's like, careful, that's a load bearing poster. And he pulls the poster, and like the ceiling starts collapsing in on itself. And that's where I have a horrible habit of like anything is a load bearing that thing. I'm gonna change out this doorbell. Careful, that's a load bearing doorbell. Like everything bears load. That's like the law. So anyway, so I guess I should mention, because we talked about it such at length, last week. Well, first of all, Michelle, do you want to confirm for all the people who love listening to you that you are indeed using your microphone right now?
Yeah. Do you want me to flick it?
Well, flicking is kind of mean. I mean, but you do what you want. You do what you want. I'll appreciate that you. Yeah, that's the good stuff. That's some ASMR right there.
I checked. It's on.
So anyway, so now that we've got that out of the way, so I filmed another 2 days on the new movie, the secret new movie that's kind of secret. It's funny because this show has such a tight-knit audience that I basically tell secrets on here, but they're still secrets basically. Like only the people I want to know them seem to ever find out. Like I talk about projects no one's supposed to know about and it never leaks. It just stays. It reminds me of when I used to make a web series when I was like 20 years old. I made a web series and it was like, wow, it's like this show's a secret. Like it's released everywhere and I'm asking everyone to watch it, but no one sees it. But no, so we filmed over the weekend. Went well. That I should start with that. It went very well. Now here are all my complaints. So, but no. So the first weekend we shot, which we talked about last week, It was in the 80s, high 80-degree weather, super baking sun. I mean, you can see how tan I've gotten from working on the set and mowing the lawn once a week, and ancestry. But so we show up on the set Saturday, and it's 41 degrees at 10 a.m.
Wow.
It gets up to 46 or 47, but it's windy. So now we all get to, within 1 week of each other, be frustrated with how cold we are after we had just drank like 20 bottles of water each a day to survive how hot it was. We managed to get through the day and film everything we needed to, but it didn't start getting nice. Like, it didn't even start getting bearable until about 2 p.m. So we had like 3 or 4 hours left in the day, and all of a sudden, like, the wind was cutting down a little bit. And unfortunately, this is good news, bad news. The good news was that we had to hike a lot. We had some very specific things to shoot that we couldn't drive a 4-wheel drive vehicle. Because what we've been doing is somebody usually has either a pickup truck or an SUV available for us to drive things through the pasture. We don't drive people, but we drive all of the gear, so everybody doesn't have to carry anything, which really makes a huge difference when you have to walk like 200 yards to only have to carry maybe a small bag or maybe nothing. But because of the way this was going, we had to carry everything. Now, there wasn't a lot, but everybody had their hands full. You know, that's the level of transportation we had to deal with. It was great because we would get to the location and we all felt warmer because we had just like moved around and got our blood pumping. But it was also bad because I'm recovering from COVID-19 and I only have so much energy. And we would like get to the spot and I'd sit down and just be like, I'm just gonna sit here, talk amongst yourselves, you know, like you guys do your jobs. I'll die over here. So that part wasn't fun. And that made the end of the day a little rough. And honestly, that made the end of the day, both Saturday and Sunday, a little rough because both days I ended up having to hike a lot at the end of the day.
Yeah.
And that made it a pain. So, but I got through it.
Good. Of course you did, because you're here.
So, but then on Sunday, it was cold until just about lunchtime or a little before, and then it was fine. Like, it was perfect. It was like 66 degrees, like the kind of weather you wish for if you need to be outside all day, like 66, 67 degrees, like the temperatures I set my thermostat to, you know? I remember because when we shot my first Western ever, Calamity Jane's Revenge, the first day of filming, we shot basically what we did. We had a script. We shot, I had a convention commitment. So we shot one weekend like in the middle of April, but then I was gone for 2 weeks on conventions. So then we started shooting the rest of the movie right at the start of May, and we shot the rest of the movie throughout May. That one day in April that we started shooting, for some reason, was just 65 degrees. It was just the most perfect weather. It was cloudy, but not super cloudy. It was 65 degrees. I just remembered thinking when we wrapped that day how comfortable I was and how it was never going to be that way ever again. Like, that could only be that one day.
Yeah.
So that being said, our next shoot day, which is coming right up. Oh my goodness, Michelle.
What do I do?
It's a surprise. I'm not in on this. I have no idea why your doorbell rang.
Should I go look?
I mean, maybe.
Okay, I'm sorry. Keep talking. No, don't keep talking.
Well, now we can all talk about how we really, truly feel about Michelle as Michelle destroys the illusion we've created that this is some kind of a studio recorded program and that we're not recording it in our individual homes. But I do wonder what Michelle got because I didn't send her anything. I've thought about door dashing her while she's on.
It was just.
Oh, she's back now.
It was just Amazon.
It was just Amazon, like seeing how you're doing.
Yeah, actually, he did say have a nice day, so I guess.
Wait, you ordered something from Amazon?
Oh yeah, I'm ordering. Yeah.
What'd you get?
I just got a gas leak sensor thing, and then like a laser level. But
why is it so exciting at your place? I want to be a part of this.
But I ordered it this morning, like 3 hours ago, and they were like, same day delivery. And I was like, oh, okay. So
I'm jealous of that. They're getting better at getting us back on track to like next day delivery here. but like we don't have that, like you Philly people.
It was really weird though, because it's never done that before.
They're probably rolling it out and testing it.
Maybe, but like all the other things I've ordered, it's like it's Prime delivery. It'll get there in 3 days or 4 days or something. I don't know.
It'll get there. I like that their big thing now is they promise you 5 and then deliver like 2 to 3. Like that's what I've been noticing regularly is they'll be like, you'll have it by Monday, and then you get it Thursday, and you're like, well, hooray. So, but anyway, so we have 2 more days of shooting. This next shooting day, they're saying it's gonna be 82 degrees. It's not supposed to rain as of right now. And it looks like that's not going to change. And then we have one more day where right now they're predicting it's going to rain, but it's pretty far out. So who knows? So, yeah. But what I wanted to say was, so that's all the good. You know, we had a great time, but something happened I wasn't really expecting, which is I hit a wall. So the first big weekend of shooting where I was baking in the sun and worked extra long hours and really was going nuts doing everything I could. I wrapped it, and then the next day I had enough energy. I wanted to go down to the little creek beach and like hang out, and I did some fun things, and I felt my self-esteem coming back because I'm working and directing and all this stuff. And it's like, yeah. You know, life is good. And then I go back to a weekend of shooting where there's way less work to do. Because we'd gotten the hard work done. It wasn't very hot. The days were shorter. In fact, we wrapped 2 hours early on the second day. And then Monday, I literally wake up at 8 a.m. like I normally do. And I did like 3 things and I fell back to sleep until 1 p.m. Like, wow. So I hit the wall, and now I feel like that level of fatigue I had during COVID, during the recovery of COVID, the heavy recovery of COVID or whatever you want to call it, which made me pretty depressed.
Sure. Yeah.
I guess that was the wall. I pushed myself a little too far, and I wasn't feeling so good. The good news is, so the next day, Tuesday, I also woke up feeling just can't live, tired. Today I woke up and I feel like I could probably live.
That's an improvement.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So in fact, when this is done recording, I'm probably going to take the rest of the day off, even though there's plenty I want to work on.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
I mean, it would have been done earlier if somebody didn't have a fucking plumber.
I know. I'm sorry.
I feel bad. Go on. Show everybody how bad you feel.
They know. It's not like this is new.
But, so, pardon me. So, yeah, by and large, things are positive. By and large, the movie's going great. I mean, we're well over halfway done. The big challenge of shooting out that lead actor, Saturday is the last day we need him. Good. So getting him wrapped is a big relief. So I guess I'm feeling all right. I'm hoping that my health will continue in this trend of improving, because I really want to get in the habit of making movies more.
Yeah.
Since it's kind of the thing I do for a living and the thing I love doing.
Yeah.
So I'm hopeful that that's the trend, and it feels like that's where where I'm heading. Good. It does. It feels that way, sincerely. So, and I've got my work cut out for me, because, you know, getting this show done, this movie done, is like the entire purpose of it is to get it done so that I can work on Babysitter Massacre 2 and not worry about bills. Yeah. So, yeah, I feel pretty good about it.
Good. I'm glad.
How do you feel about it?
I feel okay, I guess. I feel fine.
I mean, you didn't come and help, even though I asked.
I know. I'm sorry. I have work and class.
Everybody has work and class and stuff. You just didn't want to help.
I know. I kind of wanted to help, but also it was like, it sounds terrible. I gotta walk places.
Gotta
I already
hang out
walk
outside.
all the time. Yeah, and be outside, and it's cold or it's hot or something. I don't know.
And it's completely and utterly unpredictable.
Yeah.
You know, yeah. You know, the day we're recording this is the end of the COVID-19 mandates in Ohio.
Oh, that's nice.
So they're over.
Good for you.
I guess that's it.
Yeah.
I went to the post office and I didn't have to wear a mask. It was weird.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's really, I mean, like, I I guess there's not much more to say than that, but yeah, I went to the, there's no mask mandate anymore. So I
Were
guess
people still wearing masks?
yeah. I mean, if they want to wear masks, they can totally wear masks. Especially if it doesn't bother them. It bothers me.
Mm-hmm.
No, I just start to feel funny. I feel suffocated.
Yeah.
So if it doesn't bother them and they want to, I say go for it. And I definitely think, if your throat's feeling scratchy or something, for the love of God, you should be wearing a mask.
Mm-hmm.
I do hope we adopt that. I think we talked about that last week.
Yeah,
But
maybe.
I really do hope we adopt I'm not feeling very well, I'm going to wear a mask while I'm, running errands.
Mhm.
I really would like us to adopt that from Asia. I think that would be a very good idea.
Me too.
Just in general, So I'm going to start doing that when I feel funny. I'll be like, okay, it's time to wear a mask.
Yeah, me too.
But otherwise I'm ding dong, the mask is dead. I'm thrilled to not have to wear a mask anymore for solely selfish reasons. I just hate wearing them. They annoy me.
Mm-hmm.
I'm tired of it. So what about you, Michelle? How many more years are you going to wear a mask?
I don't know. I mean, we'll see what happens.
Mhm.
Pretty much everyone, there's a mask mandate. There's like a weird one where it's like, if you're vaccinated, you don't have to wear a mask, but we
Yeah.
don't know who that is.
Yeah.
So why are we saying that?
Well, because mandates to begin with aren't even really laws. They're a governmental suggestion.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
So that's to me, that's because that's what we had too, was you don't have to wear a mask if you're vaccinated, and then the businesses could decide from there.
Yeah, I mean that's what we have. But pretty much the 95 to 99% of people are still wearing masks.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll probably just wear it until I see the actual numbers come down a little bit more. Until we're in low risk instead of high or moderates, just because the vaccine isn't 100% effective or even 80% effective, which is still really, really good.
Yeah,
it's
I was
still
gonna say,
really
none
good.
of them are. Yeah.
But I don't really want I'll just wear it. I don't care. Everything sucks.
Now let's talk about how effective the masks are, though.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe they get me the rest of the way. I don't know. I don't know. They're probably not very effective.
That was the perfect response, though. Maybe they get me the rest of the way.
But they may or may not have kept me from getting sick for most of it. So, and also, I really, really like that in the entire last year, no one has told me to smile. It's been really, really nice.
But for the record, that's not because of the mask. That's because they stopped caring about their fellow human being.
Oh, okay.
As the murder rate in Philly has increased 25%.
But I don't think telling me to smile means they care about me. I don't think that's what's going on.
I mean, it's more that they want it to appear like they care, I guess. I mean, are we talking what are we talking here? What are we talking when you say they're telling you smile? Are they like, baby girl, hey, baby girl, 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 smile. Are we talking like that, or what are we talking?
Kind of.
Okay. So that's just not happening anymore?
Yeah.
I can't tell.
No one can tell if I'm, well, I mean, they should be able to if they really pay attention.
Yeah.
But no one has asked me to smile in a year.
See, if I saw you working in a mask, I would lean over and be like, are you smiling under there? Because you should be.
Yeah. Also, nobody has said anything about my nose in a year. So it's been a really nice break from Michelle facial features.
I get that because I don't get complimented on my mustache anymore.
Oh yeah. No one ever. Well, every once in a while, someone will be like, "Wow, I really like your nose," and I'm just like, "I don't know what standards you have, but okay."
I mean, that is an odd. I mean, you can I like your nose. I think don't hide it.
It's okay.
You don't have enough hand to hide it anyway. It's still, I can still see it. No, but no. I mean, I've always thought that help me with the politically correct term for your nose, that a prominent nose is an attractive feature on women. I've always thought that anyway.
Well, that's nice.
I mean, I just have.
But I have had multiple people say that they like my nose. And I just
nice.
that's weird.
It's a nice feature.
weird.
It doesn't come standard on all humans.
No, it doesn't. But I don't, it's just been nice. It's been nice. Nobody's talked about my face, except I started wearing a mask that is just lower. It's less protective. It doesn't have a filter. Just because I can't drink a beverage with my other mask on. And I'm thirsty.
Yeah.
So it's like, instead of being like up here, like directly under my eyelid things, it's like down here.
Yeah.
And so now people are telling me that I look tired. And I just like, don't, this is just my face. I'm sorry you never saw it before.
Can't you protect us from your face, please?
So I'm already seeing the consequence of having more face available.
See, I have to like start trying again, because I really let like my face go. Like I stopped doing my mustache almost all the time and stuff because people would never see it. And then I had that insanely bushy beard for a while because I was just like, who cares?
It was a nice beard.
That beard scared me. That beard made me nervous. That beard whispered things to me at night that I don't think I wanted to hear. So I'm glad it's a much more managed beard. So, and I do like the way this looks. I do.
Good.
So, I don't think it looks
soft.
bad or anything. It is soft.
Wow.
So I'll tell you something that I would never admit anywhere. I dye my beard.
You do?
Yeah, I do.
Oh.
So
why?
Because so here's the thing. I'm not embarrassed by gray hair because I would not dye the hair on my head to get rid of gray. Beards, I think the reason that dyeing beards is so popular is twofold. Number one, beards prematurely gray way before the hair on your head does. And number two, they don't gray in like a pleasing way. Like it'll like be a big patch of gray here and then like 3 gray hairs here. So dyeing it just gives you back uniformity of your beard hair. But the reason I'm bringing this up is not to oust myself as someone who does dye portions of my beard. It's because the chemicals in it also soften your facial hair and make it more manageable and pleasant to touch.
Whoa.
And that is probably my favorite thing about dyeing my beard hair is how nice it feels and how much less coarse it feels.
That's really
after I dye it.
interesting.
Yeah, and it even says on there, it says like it reduces coarseness.
Wow.
So yes, I dye my beard.
Okay.
Well, it's funny because my buddy Dave once, oh man, he's listening, so he'll know I'm making fun of him. My buddy Dave was talking about somebody he used to know, how he was like, man, quarantine's not been good to him because he had like went so gray. And I was like, David, I think it's because he just stopped dyeing his beard.
Yeah.
Because I stopped dyeing my beard when lockdown happened. Well, at first it was because, the grocery store visits had to be so intense. I just felt like, oh my God, am I really going to go all the way to the pharmacy when I don't need to just to pick up a thing of Just for Men?
Yeah.
It felt stupid. It felt, pointless. So I just let it be horribly gray and nobody could see it half the time anyway. But now,
yeah, I really wish that my facial hair would grow in gray. That would help me so much. But no.
What was this? It's brown? I don't see any right now. What do you wax it off? What do you do?
No, it's just there all the time. So, being there.
I mean, fair enough. I mean, I'm sorry. You could dye it gray.
It seems like a lot of work for little hairs.
You could actually just dye it dark brown so that it's really like it really shows. Wouldn't be very difficult.
Yeah,
we could send you some Just for Men. It's only like $8. And that's like many applications if you're only dyeing like a mustache area or whatever.
Okay. Yeah, let's do it.
I'm just saying. But yeah, so dyeing your beard is definitely something I've realized is like totally not taboo for men. Men just dye their beards. Like it's still, I mean, it's not horribly taboo to dye your hair. Well, okay. It's a little taboo to dye your hair to hide gray. A little bit. Not a lot, just a little. I mean, some people are like, oh, you dye your hair to hide your gray. But I never hear anybody talk about people dyeing their beards.
Yeah.
And some people, oh, sorry.
Yeah. So
no, what were you going to say?
I was going to say maybe it's such an acknowledged fact that they don't even want to point attention to that, you know?
Yeah, I think once you have a beard and get over 30, you go like, oh my God, why? Like I was having random white hairs
Mhm.
even in my mid-20s I used to pluck them because there were only a few. Like, there'd only be like 3. So I would just pull them out because they'd stick out because my facial hair is so dark. And then one day you wake up and you look and you're like, it would hurt a lot to pluck all of those. I don't want to do that. Also, those hairs tended to be more coarse too, so they were harder to like get to fit in my mustache and stuff.
Yeah.
But I mean, but to give you the people dye their facial hairs, so openly that, I mean, there are lots of people who literally like let their goatee be dark and let their, the sides of it be gray and stuff. Like they actually like style based on the dyeing to some extent. So I guess it's just kind of okay.
Yeah.
But there you go. I dye my beard and I bleach my teeth. I think you should bleach your teeth if you want them to be white. So,
I mean, if you want them to be white, yeah.
I mean, you could do other things too. I mean, you could drink, you could swish with coffee, like hold coffee in your mouth for 45 minutes every day.
That'll work.
Trying to brown my teeth, man. Got to brown them down, bro.
What really is good is if you take lots of blueberries and you just hold them in your mouth. Because blueberry stains, according to my dentist, are incredibly hard to get off teeth.
Really?
So if you want to have blue teeth, go for it.
And then you can look like you went Gargamel and ate a bunch of Smurfs. On that show, they never said he wanted to eat them, but it was like, what the hell else could he want with them?
I think there's other things. I mean,
Michelle, that's messed up. I can't believe you'd go there.
Well, like eating is totally normal. I mean, they're weird stuff.
Yeah, for some reason we've decided eating is like acceptable. It's like, oh no, he just wants to eat those little living blue people that talk and have society and hierarchies. And oh, Gargamel, you just exist to fuck with the Smurfs. And rest in peace, Gargamel. He's got to be dead. I mean, you can't be that insane and still be living, right?
Maybe it keeps him alive. Insanity.
He lives just to get the Smurfs.
Mm-hmm.
Smurfins. Why are we talking about Smurfs?
I don't know.
This is on you. That was you. You did this.
No, I didn't. I just was talking about blueberries. It's different.
You talked about blues. You know what you should do since you're wearing a mask at work? You should get a mouthful of blueberries and see how long you can just hold them in your mouth before you have to like swallow them to talk to somebody, and see how blue you get your teeth to be.
Yeah, I guess I could do that. I mean, it sounds like a really bad idea, but
what part?
I don't know. The part where it's like, even though I don't want to talk to people, I have to talk to them a lot since I'm at work. So it's not going to be in my mouth for that long, and I got to keep buying blueberries. And blueberries are expensive.
Blueberries, I mean, you got to wait till they're in season.
They're always like more expensive than I'd want them to be.
That's true. Well, everything's more expensive than you want it to be.
I guess.
I've watched you like grimace at the dollar store.
I mean, it's expensive.
I just want to point out that tone I just took with you of like, I've watched you grimace at that is the tone my mother takes with me.
Oh.
So it's like, that's the hierarchy. My mother's like, Jesus Christ, you were so tight. I did not teach you to be this tight. And then I passed down to you like, what are you doing? It doesn't even matter if you save that dollar. Who cares? Like that is the hierarchy of us, really.
Yeah.
So how much should blueberries be?
I guess I want to spend like $10 on a plant and then grow the blueberries so they're free for the rest of the time.
Well, they're not free. You have to provide them with nurturing and love and water.
I mean, it depends. Could probably just do it themselves. Like the tree that's growing mulberries right now, I'm not doing anything to it. It's also not my tree.
Yeah, and nobody loves mulberries the way they love blueberries.
I like mulberries. They're really good. I have to go pick the rest of them after this.
And do they stay in your teeth brilliantly?
Maybe.
You don't even know because you know that it's not gonna. You know that blueberries win.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Okay.
I guess we'll have to learn to get past this. Rest in peace, our friendship.
Thanks for listening. You can email us at thisshowis awkward@gmail.com or go to awkwardshow.com or whatever. See you next time.